hasn't been a good week for the mainstream media mob. An inspector general report recently found that President Trump did not order officers to clear and tear gas Black Lives Matter protesters ahead of his visit to St. John Church last year. This despite the army of fact checkers and reporters who reported the exact opposite dozens of times. They might want to update their stories. Meanwhile, Twitter is having an absolute meltdown over CNN's decision to put legal analyst Jeffery Toobin back on the air following his Zoom masturbation scandal last October. He returned to television yesterday and attempted to set the story straight in this painfully awkward interview on CNN. Take a look at this one.
I feel like we should address what's happened in the months since we've seen you. You were on a Zoom call with your colleagues from the New Yorker magazine. Everyone took a break for several minutes, during which time you were caught masturbating on camera. You were subsequently fired from that job after 27 years of working there. And you, since then, have been on leave from CNN. To quote Jay Leno, what the hell were you thinking?
Well, obviously, I wasn't thinking very well or very much, and it was something that was inexplicable to me. I didn't think I was on the call. I didn't think other people could see me.
All right, you mean to tell me that all you have to do to redeem yourself in the eyes of the far-left media is provide the defense that you, quote, didn't think other people could see you? And as Joe Concha points out, what do these actions say to the women of CNN, to real victims in the Me Too movement? Joining me now for some reaction is Joe Concha himself, alongside Fox Nation host Tomi Lahren. All right, let's hear it, Joe. What is your reaction to that?
Well, as far as Toobin is concerned, I mean, that's exactly right. As far as what are the women of CNN now thinking? When you think about that, just a couple weeks ago, Janine, you had Chris Cuomo getting off on advising his brother, Andrew Cuomo, Democratic governor, New York, on how to deflect and dismiss sexual harassment allegations by multiple staffers, some up to 35 years younger than him. And after this is revealed, also, by the way, after Chris Cuomo fakes his own quarantine, or after he interviews his brother governor at least a dozen times without asking about the nursing home scandal, or he's caught coaching Michael Cohen about the questions he's going to get in a CNN interview, and also gives him the answers. And after all that in aggregate, he gets no punishment, but particularly on advising his brother on how to dismiss sexual harassment allegations, he was actually even rewarded a podcast just last month. So you're going to get more Chris Cuomo in this situation. And also you have to ask, let's say if Jeffery Toobin was a lower level staffer, or let's say he was a woman, or let's say he was a conservative like, I don't know, Rick Santorum, does he get away with this? That is a rhetorical question, Janine. And the bottom line is CNN is a boys club in prime time, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m., all male hosts. That isn't the case at Fox, and that's not even the case at MSNBC. And this is where we are right now. You could do whatever you want at that network, and you will get away with it.
You know, but Joe, it is just amazing to me that someone would be on a Zoom call and actually do that. I don't care if they can see you or they don't see you. And he says, I don't know, I wasn't thinking. Yeah, you were thinking about something else. What were you doing on the call to begin with? I mean, it's just so unfathomable. Tomi, what's your reaction?
Yeah.
Listen, if CNN wasn't a joke before, it is certainly a joke now. Also, you know, a lot of us in mainstream media now, we have home studios. I can't imagine accidentally doing something like that. But furthermore, let's take into account the cancel culture mob that has gone after so many, both inanimate objects and people, in the last 6 months to a year. And now imagine that this gentleman is able to come back on and be on mainstream media and talk about how he's had a rough 7 months after doing what he did, and somehow we're supposed to feel badly for him. Listen, he has to have something on somebody, because even CNN couldn't excuse that if not for a greater reason. But the cancel culture mob would have come after any conservative and any other network. They would have come after them. They would have been done. They would have had to move to another country and never be in media again. So that we have to beg the question, where is the cancel culture mob? Where is the Me Too movement? Where is Alyssa Milano? You would think they would be pretty upset about something like this, but sadly, they're not.
And, you know, Tommy, the interesting part of it is that the whole network, CNN, is now tarnished by what they've done. And America sees this. They see it for what it is. You know, there are a few things that you can watch and say, OK, I get that. Or, you know, it doesn't really get into the mainstream. But, Joe, you're in the media. I mean, you know that this kind of thing, I mean, it has to hit ordinary Americans where they see the difference between the way the standards that the left is held to, which is no standard, and the right, which is an overstandard.
Completely, and it's reflecting in the viewership over at CNN right now, where they've lost nearly 80% of their primetime audience, Janine, since just the beginning of the year. 8 in 10 gone. And how could anybody ever watch any segment with Jeffery Toobin ever again when this is the first thing that's going to come to your mind when he comes on the air? And look, it's not like he is completely indispensable. I'm pretty sure there's no shortage, as you would know, on legal analysts in this industry that could replace him. No, not at all. And to your point again, for him to say, well, I didn't know that the camera was on, so this is A-OK if the camera isn't on during a work meeting with other female staffers? And the New Yorker fired him right away.
Disgusting.
CNN continued to pay him for the 8 months that he had this extended vacation. It's unbelievable.
Well, and Tommy, I want to change subjects and talk about what happened at the church at St. John's last year when they said that Trump had ordered the park to be cleared so we could go to the church, and they tear gassed these Black Lives Matter protesters. That turns out certainly not to be the case, and I haven't heard of any retractions. I haven't heard anyone saying I'm sorry. I mean, it's just a lie, and there's no consequence in journalism for any of this. Go ahead, Tommy.
All they did for the entire Trump administration was lie, 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 because they were doing the bidding for the Democrat Party, and they still are. And these networks, all they have to rely on truly is their Trump derangement syndrome. Now that is starting to fade out, now that they no longer have Donald Trump in the White House. But at the end of the day, the American public is the one that loses here when they look at the media. And then not only they do not see a retraction, but this should be headline-making news. If they had gotten this wrong about a Democrat, something especially to this magnitude, we know that there would be headlines about this. It would be breaking news all over. But at the end of the day, we know that the mainstream media does the bidding for the Democratic Party. They only care about the narratives that destroy conservatives and especially that destroy Donald Trump. So we're not going to see anything made of this. At the end of the day, at the time it was happening, we knew it was a lie. President Trump was saying that this was untrue, but nobody cared. And that's the state of journalism today. They're on their 4-year vacation, and we, the American public, we are truly the losers. And those that just listen to the mainstream media like CNN, MSNBC, they're losing on a daily basis. And I feel very badly for those individuals that only watch that news.
You know, Joe, you're the media person here. I mean, when let's assume there's a fact checker somewhere in the group. Do they all say, who cares, let's just sink him, so that Joe Biden can use this against Donald Trump, President Donald Trump at the time at the debate? I mean, somebody on the left had to know it wasn't true. Or do all of them know it's not true and they just do it anyway?
That's the thing, the lockstep between CNN and NBC and ABC and CBS and the Washington Post and the New York Times, all confirming the others' reporting. Not one going in another direction saying, hey, wait a minute, we can't confirm that the president ordered that tear gas be used. All of them in lockstep. No one was going to wait for the IG report, by the way, which was done over months of period of time. It was meticulous and conclusive. Yet you have CNN anchor, the cartoonish Jim Acosta, actually attacking the Inspector General here, saying that he's auditioning to be Inspector General at Mar-a-Lago. Oh, that's LOL funny. He offers nothing tangible, of course, to dispute the report unless, you know, sophomore year snark is considered tangible in these situations. So here you have 3 years of the media working from a guilty until proven innocent posture with Donald Trump on Russia collusion that didn't exist, stories of Russian bounties on U.S. troops that never happened, or Hunter Biden's emails. Remember those from his abandoned laptop that was deemed Russian disinformation until it wasn't. Dozens of examples of pushing narratives against Trump or conservatives. And these aren't mistakes, by the way. When it happens this often, it's intentional, Janine.
Yeah, because they never make a mistake the other way, Joe. Anyway, Joe, Tommy, thanks so much for being with us.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.